Despite what their moms told them, they just aren't talented enough for radio. Unfortunately, anyone can have a show these days. Sean.
Well, I'm pretty hard to figure out sometimes. In fact, I can't even figure myself out sometimes, so don't you try to.
Joe.
You're an idiot. And really a disloyal person.
This is the Cuse Militia. Those two unapologetically biased, orange-blooded homers, Sean and Joe.
It's the most bullshit thing I've seen in 30 years.
Welcome, orange men and ladies. Happy Tuesday. This is the Cuse Militia with Sean and Joe at Cuse Militia on the socials. Go there, join the militia. Syracuse falls to 13-7, 7-6 after getting handled by Duke 85-71. It was never even close. Duke with a 52-point first half. And they just couldn't miss. They shot 62.5% from the field, hitting 10 of 18 threes in the first 20 minutes. You'll hear from us, and we'll hear from you and Finn feedback. And we'll chat with our buddy James from Noon's Magician. We'll get his thoughts on Syracuse season as it's starting to wind down, maybe do some buy-seller holds. And Georgia Tech, they are playing tonight. In fact, the tip just happened. So we will be back probably Thursday for the preview of that game. Syracuse falls to 57th in KenPom and 54th in the net. And after the loss, Syracuse currently sits 0-5 in quad one games with the opportunity to, I know that at least Georgia Tech is a quad one game on the road. So, you know, there is that. So
there's that. But good news. We rescheduled the game.
We did reschedule a game. That's March 3rd. That's going to be Clemson, and I believe that is a home game because we did play at Clemson. So we've got that going for us.
Where fans can go to them.
Yes, amazing. That's right. So there'll be UNC and that. And speaking of good news on the football front, too, for all of you who have been wondering, as much as Joe and I have, Jarvion Howard and Abdul Adams, they've returned to football activities since opting out of the 2020 season. Was very, very sketchy there, hit and miss, and wondering what they were going to do. Not a whole lot of news. Kept it under wraps. And I guess they're officially back. So we'll see how that goes. The depth at running back, Joe, not going to be a problem. I mean, you know, there's going to be one hell of a rotation. You got a possible 4 there with Josh Huff coming in. Josh Huff, a high school star right now. So
well, yeah. But, yeah, that just solves a really, really big problem when it comes to football because we were looking into next year, especially with Jawar Jordan transferring to where – yeah, Sean Tucker was proven. Cooper Lutz, I think, was a fan favorite. And this Josh Huff guy coming in, we figured, okay, we'll be all right if there isn't an injury.
Correct.
And now it pretty much solidifies that. I think that it hurts. I think it hurts Josh Huff a little bit, obviously.
Yeah.
And I think it hurts Cooper Lutz as well.
Yeah,
so
but
I do know that he – for the first 2 years that he was there, practiced as a slot receiver. So who knows if that's not something that he can kind of take that confidence with and maybe get some time there. But I don't know if Cooper Lutz is necessarily going to break the depth chart as far as over Jarvion and Abdul Adams if they are going to be there. But by those two sitting out for a year, they kind of unleashed a monster that might be a problem for them because Sean Tucker still may end up being the starter.
It's a possibility. And how about the 1, 2, 3 when you put all three of them together as the likely starters in whatever order, we'll see. But, you know, that's a hell of a backfield right there.
Well, and now you talk about those three. And then just in case Cooper Lutz, Josh Huff, you know, that's where we're at. So it's a lot better.
Right. Exactly. So, okay, let's, if we shall, take a listen to what Coach had to say after the loss against Duke.
You know, we did the same thing that we did against Notre Dame. We know they have guys that are good shooters. We know Seward can shoot. You know, we know Roach can shoot. Obviously, we know Hurt can shoot. But in the first half, we didn't guard the guards. I think in the second half, we guarded them, and they made 4 3. They each made 4 and 3 in the first half, and one didn't make any threes in the second half, and the other one made 1. And somebody just said in the locker room, I'm not going to talk about who, but one of the starters said, well, I didn't play defense in the first half. Well, at this stage of the season, I don't know. That's something I can't understand. But we didn't cover shooters. You know, the big guy's good. He's really good. He's made their team. The reason I said they were better, he wasn't playing earlier. They were playing the other kid, and he wasn't playing. And he's a factor out there. I mean, he's a force. They're way better than they were. I mean, Jay Billis knows something about basketball. I know more than he knows. I said they were better. They are better, period. I'm not bringing anybody else in the equation. It has nothing to do with any other player, here or not. I saw they were better against NC State and Wake, Virginia, and tonight. I love Quincy. He plays hard, but, you know, he can't finish against these big guys. He's got to get better at that. He's got to get better at getting to the basket and finishing. There's no excuse. We're just not coming out and getting the movement we need to get on defense. And everybody wants to blame the guy. Trust me, it's got nothing to do with our guards. Our forwards are not playing defense. That's the best way I can say it. They're not. They're not covering. They're not coming up. They're just not. They're not playing defense. And some of it's the guards, but the majority of it is in the forward position. We haven't had bad losses, but we haven't had enough good wins. You know, Virginia Tech isn't enough. That's not enough. And Georgia Tech's playing great. That'll be as hard a game or harder game than this, maybe. And Carolina's playing great again, and whoever we play in the last game will be a good team. But, you know, we have to win games. It's simple. Our big guys, you know, they're not ready to play. If they were, they'd be playing. I don't like to lose. We're trying to give our team the best chance to win that we can give them.
All right, the Coach Montage is brought to us by BetOnline. BetOnline, the title sponsor for the Cuse Militia and Armchair Media. Look, football's over. Professional basketball, that's going on. College basketball, of course, we're approaching tournaments. There's going to be a bunch of props for the conference and the NCAA tournament. The NHL is here. NASCAR is here, all in full swing. BetOnline even covers awards, TV shows, and reality TV. Real-time updated odds and props on almost anything you can imagine. BetOnline has you covered for all news, scores, and odds. It's the best place to go for your bets online, and you can sign up for free. Head over to the website, use your mobile device to sign up today. Receive a 50% welcome bonus on your first deposit by using the promo code ARMCHAIR. That's a 50% welcome bonus on your first deposit. Use the promo code ARMCHAIR. BetOnline, your online sportsbook experts. Thank you, BetOnline. Okay, so, all right, Joe, well, let's start at the top of this. I did the best I could there on that montage to whittle down over 19 minutes into 3.
Yeah.
Okay. So there's a lot there. Well, thank you. There's a lot there. There was a lot of stuff that I would have, I mean, we could sit all day and talk about everything that he hit on. But first, when you are in the locker room at the end of the game and you just come to coach and say, hey, I didn't play defense in the first half. I mean, first of all, who did? Okay.
Yes, one of the forwards.
But I mean, when we're at that point, 20 games into the season, Joe, seems a little bit ridiculous. And when you think you got a grasp on things after coming out and beating Notre Dame when you're down by 20, this game just did not have the feel of that. And you begin to wonder what is going on if you got one of your guys admitting he's just not playing defense in the first half.
Yeah. That's definitely a big concern, right? That's pretty concerning.
Huge concern, yes.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yes, that is a big concern. Billis, last night, him and McDonough, they just would not shut up. There was a game going on. I understand it wasn't close, but, it was a little ridiculous and unnecessary. I'll say that. It was unnecessary, I think. just as Jay Billis had said 100 times. It was a little unnecessary.
A little unnecessary for them to keep regurgitating the same things over and over again.
They were like jerks in a circle, if you know what I'm saying. Just all round and round we went.
All the while, Duke's kicking our ass and pretty much proving Coach Boeheim's point.
The lack of self-awareness from Jay Billis there. And look, I like Jay Billis.
At that point, they were all in. Look. At that point, they were all in. That was already set up. They had the whole screenshot of Jalen Johnson coming out of the time. I mean, it was the first 4-minute timeout, right? It was right after the first 4-minute timeout. They were getting right.
It was quick. It was quick.
Or maybe it was after the 12.
I thought it might have been a little bit deeper. Yeah.
But either way, I mean.
I like Jay Billis. I just don't agree. I just don't agree with him. And see, this is how you adult. You cannot agree with a guy and still enjoy his commentary. Because I do enjoy Jay Billis's commentary.
Oh yeah, but I mean, at that point, it is what it is. Like you don't have to make it about the kid. It's not about the kid. It's about the team.
Yeah.
Coach Boeheim's got a relationship with Coach K, and he looks and watches the games as a coach and as an evaluator. So he's going to give his honest opinion if asked a question. It's not like he went out of his way to try to seemingly disparage a kid.
Correct.
It was a situation where he was making a coach's observation to a team in which, he's got a relationship with the head coach. So even if someone thought that someone was going to talk disparagingly about somebody or a team, like, Coach Boeheim's not going to do that about Duke.
Correct.
So
yeah, absolutely. Buy, sell, or hold. Coach knows more than Jay Billis. Buy. Okay. 3, 2, 1. Buy.
Maybe not about lawyering, but
maybe not about lawyering.
Basketball, yes. I mean, pretty much. I mean, if Jay Billis would be a coach, that's just.
Right, exactly. Quincy struggled, man. Quincy, if I'm doing good, bad, and ugly, he's in my bad. He's not in my ugly. 7 points, 3 for 11. Dude, the amount of stuff he missed up close, and this isn't something that's new. This has been happening this year with him. He just cannot finish, and he's having a difficult time. And look, we said in the preview for Duke, Mark Williams was averaging 11 minutes a game. Something like that. Well, he played 25, and he killed us. He was Ken Palm's MVP, by the way.
And, of course.
And
he should be.
Yeah, 18.
He's the reason they won the game.
Yeah, 18 points, 9 for 11. He was unleashed, and he had an amazing game. I think he's a great player. And this is the matchup issue. We knew we were going to see him, and we did. Yeah. So.
Well, and that's the coach's point when he talked about it in the presser is that's the guy that's getting more minutes now because Jalen Johnson is gone.
That's crazy.
And you saw what happened.
Yeah, totally. So anyways, Q having a hard time finishing, and he's got to work on that. Look, that's something that I have not seen improve. In fact, I feel like I've seen him kind of, if he hasn't improved, he's gotten worse.
Some of it's tough, though.
I understand it's a matchup thing. I get it. He struggles with the bigger guys in there. But he's missing stuff right there, dude. I mean, they weren't all contested.
I know, but I think, and I don't want to be like, my father and make it a referee thing, right? But it's just some referees call it a little bit more close to the cuff, right?
Yeah.
And I mean, I remember at some point it was like 8 minutes left in the first half, and I looked down and I think they only had 1 foul called against us, and I think 3 or 4 or something against Duke or something like that. But I'm not saying that.
Again, and not a lot of fouls called. By the way, the bad. 7 for 12 for Syracuse, 80% free throw shooting team, and they hit 58%. That sucks. Not a game changer. Not a game changer, but.
And that kind of goes to the point that I was making is that we talked about it when we started winning games and we started looking good. We were running our offense through our big guys. He thinks that we have an offensive advantage with Quincy and with Dolzaj against some other teams, big guys with their quickness and being able to take it to the basket, and then even then going to the line. And when we are playing a game in which there is a referee crew where they're kind of letting them play and, people are bumping people off their lines. And I mean, there was a couple times where there should have been fouls called. I think when Marek and Quincy were kind of going, I think that they could do a little bit better at trying to get fouls instead of making shots around them. But either way, like that's kind of how we play our game. And then we try to get them to kind of loosen up and kind of come down into the, to the meat of things and try to stop our big guys or double team or help. And that's when we get our open 3-point shots. And when the game's getting called like that, it's tough because Quincy and those guys, they're just not going to get the benefit of the doubt. And that's kind of, it goes against how we want to play. And again, I'm not blaming the refs. I'm just saying that certain teams play a certain way. And because we don't have a true center in there, when they let them bump around and get physical and stuff, a lot of times that ends up being a negative to our game.
Yes. The guards not being part of the problem is where I disagree with Coach. I think the problems on defense is all over the place. Obviously, getting to the 3-point shooters, you're gonna have more issues with Quincy and Allen, and we've seen that all year. But I think there's plenty of blame to go around there. I think.
I look at that as in a different kind of light than you do because, again, Buddy kind of hit it up in his presser, and Jim a little bit too. But with the zone, once one person makes a misread or they don't do something, everyone else in the zone reacts, and now they're overcompensating.
Yes.
So it's hard. When Boeheim says that it's the forwards, if the forwards aren't making the right rotations, and so the guards have to overcompensate, and then because they do that, now they're out of position.
So hold on. So what you're saying is you're saying this is 3 steps after.
Yeah.
So this is the accordion effect,
This is 2 to 3 passes after against teams that know to make those passes.
Correct.
Yes.
Yeah.
And that's what happens in the 2-3 zone. Everyone's kind of got to be on the same page, and not obviously every time you mess up, it's not going to kill you. You can kind of come back, but the more you mess up, the more open shots you're going to allow. And they hit every single open shot.
The more you have to compensate for someone else's mistake, the worse it gets. The more they pass. And which is how we end up with 5 guys in the paint and a guy shooting a wide open shot. Yes, that makes sense. That makes perfect sense. And like Coach says, nobody in the presser really understands what they're trying to do. That's why Coach goes and he freaking rails on Quincy. He rails on Quincy during the game.
It's crazy. Gonna kill that dog myself.
Sorry, guys. We had to stop. we already had to stop once for the dog. So anyway, we're just gonna let it go. Okay. Need to win. Coach says yes. We just need to win. We don't have any good wins. I mentioned we were 0 for 5 in quad 1 wins, and I think we're 1 for what was it? 3 for 1 in quad 2. Virginia being in there. Virginia, I think, was sitting 36 in the net. I don't know if I see them getting into the quad 1 territory, which would have to be, they'd have to jump 6 spots. I don't know if I see that by the end of the year, but that's, as of right now, that's our best shot at a quad 1.
Right.
But we do have some more coming up. I think Clemson will be one, at home even. And I believe, actually, I'll have to double check that. But the Georgia Tech one, like I said in the beginning, we have to win. I was talking to James before the Duke game. And he's like, I think he was saying, like, we need 2 of these last 3 before Clemson was added. So does that change things a little bit? Yes. This is the toughest part of the schedule, though. And you have to face some very hot teams late in the season. And for a team, honestly, that is not hot. I mean, like, we won 3 in a row and we were doing good, but we can drop an egg. We can drop a wet one in our pants at any time.
What's the ranking that we need above what in net ranking for quad 1 at home?
1 to 30 at home.
1 to 30 at home. Okay, so North Carolina and Clemson are very close. North Carolina's 33 currently, and Clemson's 39.
And where's Virginia Tech right now? They're 36 still, 35?
36.
Okay, so so we need help. We need to.
Are we playing Virginia Tech?
No.
Georgia Tech, right?
We beat them, but we beat Virginia Tech, so we need them to jump. But I don't think they can jump that much in that short amount of time. But we'll see.
Well, Georgia Tech's 49.
But that's an away game, and it goes up to 75 away.
So that's a quad 1.
Right. So Georgia Tech's a quad 1, and likely will stay a quad 1 no matter what for the rest of the year.
Yeah.
But like I said, they're hot. Georgia Tech's pretty good. So, anyways. Need to win, yes, absolutely. When Coach, last thing from the montage, Joe, when Coach says, hey, I'm going to play the guys I think that we're going to win. He doesn't want to lose. I mean, obviously he doesn't want to lose. So it's either he doesn't know what he's doing, which I guess, the fan argument could be that, but at the end of the day, he's the one that's in the practices. When he talks about Woody Newton, I wanted to put this in there too, but I just figured we'd mention it. He says Woody Newton's is a high school senior right now, and he's just not there yet.
I thought he was talking about Frank.
I think he was talking about Frank too. Well, yes, you're right. And I think he was talking about both of them, him and Frank. Right?
I don't think Woody Newton's supposed to be.
Okay, all right. Then he's talking about.
All right,
but
he's
talking
the
about
big.
Frank.
That's when they're talking about big guys not having. But did Woody Newton? Did he see the floor yesterday?
He did.
He came
4
in late,
minutes. Right? Yeah. 4 minutes.
Right.
So.
Yeah, I just think. I mean, Coach Boeheim, he is a competitor, so that's why I just laugh when I see all this his son and buddy and this he would bench his son if he thought it gave him a better chance to win. Sorry. And deal with Julie's crap in the background because he wants to win. So at the end of the day, anybody who questions that, and obviously you see something different with Kadari, and you see the turnaround with the coach because Kadari coming in and starting in the second half. Obviously, I mean it's the first time he's done that this year. So all those Kadari
champs.
Obviously, we're starting to see the changing of the guard, unless Joe figures something out. But
Joe's been horrible. 5 points in the last 3 halves. 0 points. He's in my ugly. Just an awful game. 18 minutes. 0 for 4. 0 for 2. And not much else. And, there was a sequence that at Matt in the Hat on Twitter posted. Did you see it?
Yes.
Okay.
Where he dribbled behind his back. And
he was playing hero ball by himself. He almost lost the ball. He's dribbling. He's stutter stepping. He's trying to juke move these dudes. No one's biting. So he launches up a late 3 from way too deep. Bricks it off the back of the iron. Kadari Richmond gets the rebound, passes it off, re-evaluates his position, gets the ball, dribbles right through, and just scores the layup. And his quote for the video clip was our point guard situation in a nutshell, and it really does encapsulate what fans really see and feel, and it was a perfect testament to basically hey, look, this is the difference. This is what it is. If Joe can't shoot, he's not doing a whole lot else.
And that's the thing, right? Is we're kind of a mediocre team in the middle of the pack that there's not a lot of national pundits that are paying attention to, and he can get away with some of that. And obviously the fans are going to have their own opinions, but at some point, I mean, you got to call, a spade, and if he doesn't make this change soon, he's going to start. I mean, there's going to be. I'm sure he's got personal friends and coaches that are like, dude, what are you doing? This guy's pretty. I mean, obviously he's got, you worry about the jump shot and everything, but he made a 3 last night.
He did make a 3, and he only took 1, I believe. So he went 1 for 1, right? Yeah. So, I mean, not that justifies anything. He could have just as easily missed that because he's not a 3-point shooter, but he does have to find his groove in the scoring territory. But I like when he drives the ball. I think he does a good job. And he's long, and he gets around guys and go left-handed, I mean, so.
He was on the right side going left-handed, and he can go on the left side and go right-handed. I mean, he can use both hands. He's very dangerous in that situation. And, at this point of the season, there's some players, they kind of fizzle out, and some players get a little bit better, right? And work on their craft. And as the season goes on and the Division I game slows down a little bit for them, something clicks and they get a little bit better. Like as a coach, you have to understand that and you have to make the right. That's why Kadari played as many minutes as he did. Joe's not improving.
He's not. He's regressing.
Quincy seems to be regressing. For what reason? Don't know why. But at the end of the day, if we got someone behind him that is getting better, coming in and making his assignment. I mean, I know Braswell went for 1 for 6 and he was hitting those threes in practice, like Coach said. But, if someone's getting better behind you as you're regressing, what is it? I mean, that kind of ties the coach's hands.
Yeah. So, okay. All right.
It's going to be interesting to see the rotations here coming up, but
it will, and we'll talk about that. We'll get to some buy-seller holds. Let's bring James on. All right, joining us now, our good buddy, some kind of editor, something or other, basketball beat writer, something like that, dome creeper, from Noon's Magician, our boy, James Zuba, at James Zuba on the Twitter. James, giving us all the great content we love, all of the shots from the sidelines. How's it going, buddy?
Yeah, it's going well. Very disrespectful indeed, but not as disrespectful as I could possibly be to myself. So thanks for the intro.
No problem. I just kind of shot from the hip on that. Is that okay?
Yeah, that's all right.
Okay, perfect. So
I was going to say, if you wrote that down, that's pathetic.
No, I definitely didn't write. I didn't write much down this episode because this game was kind of spoke for itself. So I do though, James. Speaking of game, you listened to the game. Obviously, you weren't able to go because it wasn't at the Dome. So you got to the Billis Boeheim saga that just won't end. And part of that is because Billis talked about it for 20 minutes. I think he repeated himself. It was pretty unnecessary and disparaging of him to do that over and over again last night. Totally unnecessary. Oof. And unnecessary. So I didn't ask you, so I don't personally know because we texted and I didn't bother asking you because I wanted to hear what you had to say here. So what are your thoughts on the whole thing?
Yeah. I guess I have some nuanced views on the whole Boeheim-Billis saga. First, I'd like for it to be over. I'd like for us to stop talking about it.
Truth.
That's first and foremost.
Yes.
And I don't think anybody did themselves any favors with talking about it ad nauseum on the air and then also Boeheim bringing it up again in the postgame presser. But
2 in a row.
Yeah. to bring it back from the start, first, I think initially Boeheim's comments were a little bit irresponsible and that it was a little premature to say anything there because you have to take into account that there is the potential for doing reputational harm to a kid, and then to later admit that you haven't really seen much of him play, it just seems a little irresponsible. He followed that up with comments Saturday saying, "This is a talk show. If you have to use my talk show to get things to talk about, you ought to be in another profession." But it just strikes me as like he didn't really have the awareness that a lot of people tune into this. A lot of people pay attention to this. And his comments do carry weight, especially in the sport of college basketball when he's a Hall of Fame college basketball coach. Now, he might be right. He might end up being right. Based on what we've seen, I don't think it totally proves that Duke is better. I mean, there could be a lot of things. There could be, a guy like Mark Williams getting an opportunity to play more. There could be guys just getting better at this point of the season. Are they better? They might be. They might be better. But so far, Boeheim does look right in this situation. I do think Jay spent a little bit too much time. I think they spent way too much time on College Game Day talking about it. I mean, they carved out I don't know if you guys watched it on Saturday, but they carved out about 20 minutes.
Oh my gosh,
just talking about the Jalen Johnson situation and Jim Boeheim's comments and how they looped kind of Boeheim's comments in with some of the other racial undertones, some of the rhetoric that was used surrounding his quote unquote camp posse, etc. So to tie it, to put a freaking bow on this thing, I do think it was spent too much time was spent both on Saturday and in Monday's game talking about it. I think we could put it to rest. And I don't think Jim Boeheim had to say anything last night in the post-game press conference about him knowing more than Jay Billis. I don't think that had to be said. I thought that was unnecessary as well.
I actually like that. I mean, the whole thing's unnecessary in my opinion. And Jay Billis gets to go on there and do it during a live broadcast and this and that during the game. And you know what? I mean, he in my opinion, how I feel about it is he had it coming. I do agree with you though that it is a little irresponsible. I think that's fair to say. Just the comments in general, and I think we said that, Joe. When you talk about a college athlete, not only a college athlete, but a college athlete from another team, that's kind of where you could be really crossing a line. Now, when you really listen to his comments, though, I didn't think they were that bad. That's the thing. When you hear it come out of his mouth, it's just a comment off of a question. And it's not like he just came out with this because it was on his mind. He was asked, And it was kind of the story recently for Duke. And he just kind of, you know how he is. He's an old curmudgeon. He's going to say what he wants to say.
That's why his pressers have been so kind of ridiculous this year, is the fact that he's old school. He doesn't think about the PC part of it. And you got to take the temperature of today, the last, what's been going on. Everything is just blown out of proportion. And again,
time.
Like I said, it's irresponsible because of the fact that you kind of got to know that. And I don't know if he cares, but it's just one of those things where nowadays you have to be careful of what you say, no matter what you're on, where you say it. It doesn't matter. Right. Someone's going to see it and someone's going to blow it up, especially if you are a Hall of Fame coach. And that's just really what it comes from. Do I think that it was really that bad? No, I don't. I think that there's situations where it can not be a good fit for a player and a coach or teams, but that doesn't mean that player is bad. And I don't think that ever once out of his mouth did he say that player was bad. He just said that team was better without him. And you see that in professional football. You see that everywhere.
If he wants to be an athlete, he's going to have to learn to take criticism anyways. These kids live in a bubble, and I don't think it's – I don't
none
think
of this is on him. This has been pushed by the media.
Oh, that's true, and that's the other thing. Exactly. So with that said, though, look, I think Duke – I don't know if they're better, but they've won their biggest game of the season against UVA, and they're on a roll right now, and they seem to be clicking, to say the very least. Yeah. And Mark Williams is a monster. So, I mean, that's that. James, quickly, let's get your thoughts on wrapping up. You had a tweet out today. I don't know where it came from, but I got it from you, that we're adding a game on March 3rd against Clemson. That's going to be a home game. So we've got 3 left at Georgia Tech, at home against UNC, at home against Clemson, and we've got fans for the last 2 games too. So how do you see this wrapping up? What do you think we need to do? Just honestly, what you think about that to try to get into the tournament. And I know it's not good, but let's just hear your thoughts.
Yeah, I mean, Syracuse is in dire straits right now, but they're not totally out of the hunt. I think Saturday is a must-win in terms of they're on the road, and it's their last known road opponent of the year. Could Syracuse theoretically schedule another game after Clemson that Saturday and maybe go down to Louisville? Or, I haven't looked at the schedule. I don't know if Louisville's even open, but, I'm just kind of spitballing there. But I think
they have so much to make up that who knows.
Right. And who knows, maybe a game just doesn't get played. Right. So
Louisville
I think
would probably be in COVID.
Yeah, I think Saturday is an absolute must win because they're 2-6 in road games. And so far, Syracuse hasn't proven that they can win away from home. The 11-1 home record is obviously great, but typically and historically, the committee likes to see you win away from home. And they haven't played a neutral court game yet this year. So I think Saturday is a must win. And then, obviously you want to win out. You want to put yourself in the best position possible. But in terms of the UNC and the Clemson game, both of those are going to be quadrant 2 no matter what. So ideally you win one of those there at least. If you can get all 3, that's great. But you're going to need to win, the road game and then, split maybe between those. And then you're probably going to need to win 2 games in the ACC tournament. But, they really need wins. They need quadrant 1 wins. They need road wins. They need neutral court wins. Right now they just really need to keep winning. But I say, if you split 2 out of the last 3, maybe you get another game in there mixed in. You can win that one. And probably 2 at least in the ACC tournament.
Yeah, it's a uphill battle, man. 0-for-5 in quad 1 games right now.
Right.
Got to hope for, like, Virginia Tech to hang tight against Georgia Tech. Got to kind of hope for these other teams to win, except for when you play them. Because they're all on the cusp right now of being quad 1 games, and they could end up there by the end of the season. So that's where we're at this point. Just a lot of missed opportunities. I think there was the home game against Louisville, the most recent one that was postponed. That was a huge opportunity. We saw what happened to Louisville when they came back, and they were just atrocious. I think Syracuse could have probably got a win out of that, quad 1 win out of that. So, anyways, all right, let's do some fan feedback. Let's do some buy, sell, or holds right after this. All right, just a couple more things real quick to wrap this up. James is listening. I know James is a sneaker guy. I'll get to that in a second for him. But first, Bet Online. James not a betting guy, but that's okay. Joe is, and maybe you are. Head over to Bet Online. They've got everything you can imagine. The professional basketball league, college basketball, NHL, NASCAR. It's all there. It's all in full swing, and it's at Bet Online. Bet Online even covers awards, TV shows, and reality TV, James. So you could bet on your reality TV shows, whatever those might be. Joe likes The Bachelor, right. The Bachelorette. I mean, maybe you do Survivor or something cool like that. Real-time updated odds and props on almost anything you can imagine. BetOnline has you covered for all the news, scores, and odds. It's the best way to place your bets, and it's free to sign up. Head over to their website today. Use your mobile device. Sign up. Receive a 50% welcome bonus on your first deposit by using the promo code ARMCHAIR. That's a 50% welcome bonus on your first deposit. Use the promo code ARMCHAIR. Bet Online, your online sportsbook experts. And where is eBay? Here we go. Ready for this? Whether you're looking for rare dead stock or the latest releases, find that exotic shoe you're looking for on eBay, the original sneaker marketplace. eBay is the place to go to cop a pair you've been eyeing, and with eBay's authenticity guarantee, a team of independent professional authenticators perform a rigorous inspection of the sneakers you purchase before they're even sent to you, so you can shop confidently, knowing your pair is the real deal. Ask for for the sneaker sellers out there. Maybe you're a sneaker seller. Maybe not. eBay has eliminated selling fees on sneakers $100 plus, making it free to sell or flip your collection. With other sites taking as much as 25% off the top, you're going to have a lot of extra money left for more sneakers. Check them out. eBay.com/sneakers today. That's eBay.com/sneakers today. Thank you. eBay.com/sneakers. All right. So, where were we?
Sneakers.
You guys dig that?
eBay?
eBay.
You guys dig it?
People use eBay still?
Dude,
Yeah.
I just used eBay the other day.
Only because you got a promo code.
No, the sneakers I bought off of eBay, I didn't have the promo code. I bought those a while back, by the way.
Oh, my bad, bro.
Orange Air Force Ones. I wear them when Syracuse wins. And they're up on the shelf today. In the bin.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, they are.
Let's do here's one. Buy, sell, or hold. Let's go to James first. Jim Boeheim's replacement will abandon the Cuse tradition of exclusively operating under the 2-3 zone. Just speculative. By the way, hold on. The rules.
Can you repeat that?
The
Can you repeat
rules
the
are,
question?
yeah, I will here in a second, Joe, after I explain the rules, because it's
the new rules.
because there was one buy, sell, or hold. No, there was one buy, sell, or hold in the last show that came up randomly in fan feedback. Is one of them one, and Joe held, which is dumb. That's stupid. So you have to have at least 3 to use a hold. First of all, which is where we're going to be at today. But you can only use one hold, regardless. There could be 20. There could be 20 of them. There's only one hold.
Joe uses 2 holds anyways, usually.
Exactly. Jim Boeheim's replacement will abandon the Cuse tradition of exclusively operating under the 2-3 zone. It's just speculative. I would buy.
This question's terrible, though. But
I know.
Because it just all
but
depends on the next hire.
Yeah, I would. I think it's an easy buy.
I think it's an easy hold.
Really?
So it all depends. Well, it all depends on who the next hire is. I mean, everybody wants like Billy Donovan, and what if Billy Donovan comes in there? And I shouldn't really say that because I get people thinking that. But it all depends on if it's a former Syracuse guy. If it's a former Syracuse guy, there's a good chance that they might play a little 2-3 zone. But if it's a non-Syracuse guy, maybe they do. Or maybe it becomes a situation where like every now and then Roy Williams will run like the 4 corners just to, kind of tip his cap to Dean Smith. Maybe that sort of happens, but it all just depends on the next hire. We don't know who that is. There's no sense.
He may never retire.
That's what I'm saying. You're gonna make
forever.
us. You're gonna make us use our hold in the first one. That's what you're doing. That's what you're doing.
That's an easy buy for me. I think. Whatever.
How is that an easy buy?
Who cares? Because because listen.
Who cares?
Listen.
You just give your answer and who cares?
No,
okay. All right,
no.
cool.
Because here's the thing.
Thanks for your explanation there.
He'll abandon the Cuse tradition of exclusively operating under the 2-3 zone.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, it's an easy buy for me. I'm sorry, guys. You guys are making this way more complicated than it needs to be. You know, you guys you tend to, you know what, you tend to gang up on me though. You tend to gang up on me. I'm getting a little sick of it actually.
What if it's Mike Hopkins? What if it's G-Mac?
I got to be honest with you. I want to see something more exotic. It's just me.
Like a 1-3-1 maybe more exotic.
No, I mean coach wise. Like.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Oh, so you just want him to just get rid of La Familia?
No, that's not what I'm saying. They can still be there. Well, Hopkins isn't there anyways. Besides, I doubt Hopkins coming back.
He might be soon.
Yeah, well, I don't know if that's good or bad now at this point. I know. Okay. All right, you guys suck. All right, so let's see. Let's do this one. Buy, sell, or hold from @BaptizedByFire7 on the Twitter. Richmond starts at point guard the rest of the season. James.
I'm going to sell. However, this is something I've been thinking about because he did start the second half at Duke, right? So do we see him start at Georgia Tech Saturday? That's something I've been thinking about. I don't know. I would lean towards Gerard keeps his starting spot just because it's been that way all season. But I wouldn't be totally surprised at this point to see Kadari get a starting role.
I wouldn't be surprised. I would sell, and only because it says the rest of the season. So I do think he starts though somewhere. I don't know if it's Georgia Tech. I don't know if it's UNC. I have no idea, but not for the rest of the season. I think Joe's definitely going to give. He's going to have another shot in there somewhere because, like Coach says, I mean, he has good practices. I mean, he keeps having good practices. He's going to put him out there. It's just in-game situations, Joe just has been flat. I mean, to say the very least, he's just been flat. Joe, what say you?
Sell.
Okay.
But it's not by far. I'm kind of right there with James. I know that we spoke about it earlier about how he did start him in the second half, and it's something he hasn't done all year. So it's kind of. But I think that Joe Girard, I think he will start against Georgia Tech. But I think that this past game and starting Kadari was kind of like the last warning shot of like, hey, bud, you got to figure it out. Yeah, so, I mean, that's kind of where I'm at with that is as far as I think that this is his warning shot. I think he's got one more. If he comes out against Georgia Tech and has played the way that he has probably the past 2+ games or whatever, then I think Kadari is going to be starting very shortly after.
How do you think about what do you think about Kadari, James? What are your thoughts? Because we haven't talked on the air since very early about Kadari.
Yeah, he's pretty darn good. You know what would be interesting if Kadari does start at any point? How many sophomore point guards at Syracuse have lost their starting role over the past 6 years?
I couldn't name one.
Caleb Joseph in 2015, 2016. Frank Howard.
Frank Howard.
The following year.
Yep.
Jalen Carey last year. So it would be Jalen Carey started the year last year for those who might have forgot.
That's right. He did start. Yeah. He did.
So it's interesting, but yeah, I mean, we all see it with Kadari, right? I mean, he's really good, man. I mean, he's really good out on the perimeter. He hits you with that little inside out and a little like hesitation, and he gets by you. He finds a way just to shake his guy and create an angle and gets right by him, gets to the rim. And even when he's got a guy in front of him, I mean, he's kind of got that floater, but he's really good around the 10. I mean, you see him kind of using either hand when he gets in there, and he's so crafty with it. Like there was a play last night when he drove. He was on the right-hand side, and I think it was Mark Williams who saw him at the rim, and he went with the left on the right-hand side and got fouled. He missed it. He had a chance for the and one. But if he goes up right-handed, you're supposed to use your right hand on the right side of the rim, obviously. But if he goes up right-handed, he gets blocked. So he was really crafty. And then there was the move right before the half where he got by and he kind of had a defender on his hip. And he just finished right at the 10 with the left on the right-hand side. And, you see kids do that nowadays so they don't get blocked. But he's got that. I mean, he's got it all in his game.
He's done that.
He hit a three last night. We don't expect him to do that, right? But I mean, the sky's the limit for him. Once he improves that jumper and kind of learns how to react to how people are adjusting to play him, I think he's going to be really, really good.
Yeah. Yeah, that's exactly what we spoke about. I mean, I talked to Sean about that too when he was using his left hand to the right side. Like, not everybody can do that. It's like a special kind of different way to play basketball, and Kadari's got that.
And he's a great ball handler. He gets low. He can get by people. He constantly does it. And there was a sequence, James, that we talked about earlier where Joe was trying to play hero ball, and he's dribbling all over the damn place. Almost got the ball stolen from him. Ended up shooting a really long three. It looked ridiculous. And then Kadari comes, gets the rebound, chucks it off, gets it back, and then just whips by down, just blasts right to the rim and makes the layup. And, it's kind of telling. Very telling, and when you see stuff like that as a Syracuse fan, there's no wonder the clamor is for Kadari, and I understand it.
No, and it's not hard to tell that he's the best defensive guard out there too.
Oh yeah,
no
absolutely.
question.
Yeah. So, all right, Kyle on Facebook: buy, sell, or hold. Should Richmond get the starting spot over JG3? Okay, so we just did. He will for the rest of the year. Now, should he, Joe?
Who's picking these?
I'm picking them. What are you talking about?
Of course he should.
So bye.
I think most people that are watching are going to say bye.
James.
If you look at it through the lens of your best player should be starting, then yes. Joe's hashed this point out many times on the show. It's not about who starts. It really isn't. He kind of gives you a different look off the bench, so that's the benefit there too. But, also in the last two games, Syracuse has built themselves a deep hole early defensively. So maybe that's a new wrinkle that needs consideration. But, if you look at it through the lens of your best player should be starting, then Kadari Richmond should be starting.
Bye. Yeah. I mean, yeah. But we've said before on the show, Joe says it all the time, and I agree. It doesn't matter who starts, You can always make that adjustment. The problem is we've been the past two games getting in these holes so quick. Last night's turnovers, you had 5. I think you had almost 5 before Kadari even came in, and they were scoring points off of them. So we got in a hole quick. Kadari's not out there. Now you have to make the adjustment, and you're playing from behind again. So with that said, I would buy. Anthony on the Facebook. Buy, sell, or hold. This team won't win another game this season. James.
Yeah, I'm going to sell that.
Okay.
There's plenty of opportunity. There's at least 3 more regular season games. You're looking at an ACC tournament game, and then Syracuse fans won't want to hear it, but the NIT is getting played this year. So if they don't win any of those, there's at least another chance for an NIT win. So that's an easy sell for me.
Joe.
Yep, me too. That's a sell. That's easy.
Yeah,
we'll win.
That's
at least.
That's a sell for me too. We'll have to win. There's no way. I don't think we have a 3-game losing streak this year. So, and we've rebounded. We've rebounded pretty good too. So, and it would actually be a 4-game losing streak if that were to come to fruition. 5. I'm sorry. 6. It would be 6. Keep counting. Because I'm keep thinking you've got
the next level.
Yeah. So, anyways, sell. They're gonna win something. Here's one though, and I'm gonna specify on this one because Alex puts it out there, but I'll clean it up. Buy, sell, or hold that Georgia Tech is a must-win game. Okay, and that means we're not talking about the ACC tournament and how deep they go there. Georgia Tech is a must-win game. James, you already said it.
Yeah. Bye. We talked about this right at the top. I'm a buy. I'm really not a big fan of the must-win thing.
Right.
Even though I did use it, so I'm talking out of both sides of my mouth here. But
that's okay.
Yeah, buy. I'm gonna go buy. They need it. They need it for the quad 1, and they need it for the road. They can accomplish both of those things. They won't have an opportunity like that the rest of the way. Must win. Buy.
Joe.
I agree. It's the easiest path, but you know how I do this whole buy, sell, or hold thing. Like as long as
you're being in the ass about it.
ACC tournament, as long I don't even know.
I just said though, we're not counting that.
Okay, so we're not counting the guarantee into the tournament. Okay.
Dude, let's just take a look at Syracuse's track record in the ACC tournament real quick.
Let's put it this way. for either the automatic bid or the at-large bid. For the at-large bid, is it a must-win?
Lord.
I say it's a must-win regardless.
Yeah, I mean,
I'm buying. I'll just go out. I'll go out of turn here because I feel like it's that easy.
My whole I guess I don't think it's that easy because the schedules aren't consistent across the board. Like we don't even know how the NCAA is going to look at these teams. No non-conference. I mean, all these different things. I mean, Lenardi, he's used to this other stuff. Who's talking about it? We have no idea.
Still relevant?
What is this?
Is Joe Lenardi still relevant?
I'm just saying this isn't a normal year at all, not even close. So I don't even know how they're going to look at a team that's played
like
26
Louisville.
games versus somebody that's exactly. I have no idea. So that's why it's hard for me. But when you really look at it, then yes, if you look at it normally through a normal year, I would say yes, absolutely. It's a must win.
Okay. Top fan on Facebook. Buy, sell, or hold. He's got 3 here. I'm going to do 1. I'm just going to try to move this thing along
3.
Here. Yeah, he's got 3. Let's do this one.
Damn.
Let's do, because, some of them we've kind of already touched on, and one's kind of difficult. Not that I'm taking the easy way out. I'm just saying.
Okay.
Buy, sell, or hold. Buy, sell, or hold. Marek Brahma used the extra year of eligibility next year and will return for Syracuse.
Both of them?
Yes.
No.
Really? You think one of them doesn't?
I think both of them will not.
Really?
No. I'm saying I think both of them will not. There's a possibility. Maybe one of them wants to come back. I don't think they're getting both.
This is interesting. This is interesting. Because, I look at it and I'm like, yeah, it's a no-brainer. I mean, Mark, he just fits right in. Where's he going? Why not? And then you look at Brahma, and he's been robbed of so much playing time. It's just like kind of, if he can come back and be healthy next year, the dude's played under 10 minutes for the whole season. He was injured the first 4 minutes of the season and he's played a couple minutes here and there.
I think it was 15 minutes overall.
Is it 15 minutes overall? Okay. I just feel like he's got a motivation to come back. And Marek, the dude he drips Syracuse to me. Like, if he didn't come back, I would be so disappointed. To get a 5th year of Mark would be amazing. I would buy.
I think Boeheim's lobbying for it based on the post-game presser comments because he's
all over some Dole, huh?
Toward Doja in the pressers, but
yeah.
Doja.
Wait, do you know something we don't, James? Do you know something we don't? Is that what this is?
I have no inside intel. This is just going off a feel. But I think for Marek, there's a chance he could get a check in Europe. He's going to play somewhere.
That's true.
He's not an NBA player, but he can get a check playing pro ball. Both these guys are going to have degrees, right? So maybe they want to go out into the world. With Barama, though, education is very important to Barama.
Very smart.
He's a very bright student, so there might be a chance for him to come back and work toward an advanced degree. So, maybe there's that component, and then, obviously wanting to finish out strong. So maybe he does want to come back, but I could see Marek maybe wanting to leave and starting his pro career somewhere.
Okay, fair enough. I guess mine's more of an emotional answer. I just want him to come back. You know what I mean?
Sometimes it works.
So I'll put my money.
It's a fan's answer.
I'll put my money where my mouth is.
This would be my hold. This would be my hold if you didn't force it in the beginning. Because I can see both ways, to be perfectly honest with you. Because, who knows if Barama City, who knows if he can come back? Number one.
Well, right, with his injury, sure.
He's got so many knee issues. Who knows if that's even a thing that's a real thing? And then when you look at Doljai, maybe he does want to go back to Europe and get a check. His wear and tear
maybe
of 4 years
sick
here
of
is
smacking
probably
the wood.
like 6. Yeah. Does he need another year getting run over by centers in the ACC? I don't know. You might as well get paid to do it, right? So
you ain't lying.
I'm just saying there's so many different little aspects there. But it's so hard because as a fan, I'm right there with you, Sean. Like I look at it like it's a no-brainer, but CDB's got to be healthy, and Dolezaj's got to not want to go get a paycheck, and who knows what his personal life's like next, like out in Europe and his family and stuff. So
sure he misses
I think
home,
that would be my hold, but I would say sell if you had to put both of them, because I just don't think that both of them are gonna, like, something's gonna happen. Either one of them's gonna take a paycheck, or CDB can't play. Something's gonna happen. They're not both gonna come back.
Fair enough.
Dolezaj does like the pizza in Europe better than the U.S. So
what
he does, yeah.
Dude, Syracuse got some good pie, bro.
There's some good pie. But
holy moly!
Have you ever been over to Slovakia or Slovenia?
I've never had Slovakian pie. No.
You've never had pie from Bratislava?
No. Here's a funny thing, though. Real quick. Yeah, I've only been as far west as Bristol, Tennessee, and as far north as Niagara Falls. So, yeah. So that's, I'm a sheltered 42-year-old man. So I've not been many places. I pretty much stick right to the East Coast. So,
that's the right coast.
Yeah. By the way, interesting enough that we get downloads out of Slovakia. By the way, just throwing that out there. It's been that way for a while too. So if you're listening from Slovakia, much love. Send me some pizza. Yeah. Okay. One more. Top fan Jesse on Facebook. He's got 3. I'm going to do 1, and then I'll now wrap this thing up here. Okay, James, I could talk to you for 2 hours, buddy. I really could.
No.
And we could do the rest of the fan feedback, but I'm sorry, we got so many buy seller holds. I think it's just best to try to hit as many as we can. One more along the same lines, buy seller hold. Joe, I'm going to give this one to you first, since you did such a good job on the last one explaining your stance on that. Quincy returns next year.
Yeah. Bye.
Okay. I mean, Joe, I'm right there with you. The way he's played, the way he started playing, and the way that he's playing now, and I know that there's things in between there, and there's matchup issues and all this other stuff, but what I see with my eyes is that he has not gotten better. James, Joe, and I talked about this before you came on, but it seems like if he's doing anything, he's regressing, and the NBA talks should be squashed for right now, in my opinion. What do you think, James?
So I think he's gone.
Okay.
To take the other side.
Golly, this guy. Who invited this guy on?
It makes for a more entertaining show.
Both of us.
No, go ahead, though. I hear you. Go ahead.
No, I think for some guys, too, like, obviously you want to get to the NBA, but sometimes it's just better to start your professional career. Like, how many years can these guys really play professional ball? I mean, if you take 10 years, and that might even be ambitious as an average, if you take 10 years of your professional career, why would you want to spend another year in college not getting paid when that could be 10% of your professional earnings? So I think for some guys, it makes sense. I don't know how much better he's going to get to improve his draft stock. But I do think he is a better player. I do think he is a better player this year. We've seen it with his shooting. He's struggled in recent games finishing in the paint over taller defenders.
Yeah.
That's an area that's got to be improved. But I do think he's a better player, and I do think it makes sense for him to go pro after this year.
I think it makes sense. I think it's probably it might be likely. I'm gonna stick with. I
mean, let's put it this way, right? Like as a player, you could go overseas after 1 year of college and play out your 8 to 10, 11 year, and you can make enough money if you are financially, smart, sound, and you make the right decisions to not have to work for the rest of your life. And you don't need the education. You just need to make right decisions. So you can make that all happen. And the longer that it takes, like what James' point, like you take another year or two, that's taking money out of your pocket. It's taking a decent chunk, especially somebody like Quincy, because if he doesn't make the NBA, he's making decent money overseas. So I definitely can understand that 100% in that way. But at the same time, something tells me that forward that came to him and said didn't play defense in the first half was him. And you can't have that kind of attitude or effort. And I mean, I'm just saying it's not going to help. So he's got to start playing. I mean, I think it's pretty obvious that, to me personally, when I see him, I can tell when he's turned on and when he's not even interested.
Yeah, I agree. All right, let's sum up the game with this. Just a rough game against Duke. I knew it was coming, by the way, and we'll talk about that in a second. But
Monday morning QB right there.
At Cuse Waterboy says, I crapped my pants once at Taste of Syracuse about 2/3 the way through eating a total of 39 $1 samples of some of the most delicious, often fried food this fine city provides. Threw my drawers out, cleaned up, and finished. That day was more enjoyable than this game. So
wait, what did he say? What? That's the most outlandish thing I've seen or heard all day.
Did he admit to crapping his pants because of fried food? Would he go to the Taste of Syracuse, crap his pants, and that was a better day than
that was more enjoyable than the Duke game. So that's how it looks. To each his own.
Replies.
What, James?
He's always in the reply. He's always got something good to say, but man, somebody's got to censor him, man.
Someone's got to censor him.
Waterboy, I say this out of love.
Hey, man, he's willing to go on Twitter and admit he crapped his pants. That's on him, right? So, quickly, let's see. James, you predicted, because you put it in writing, and it's everywhere to be seen by the entire public. Oh, yeah. You did that.
National brand.
You did that. 75-74, 1-point win for Syracuse. Joe, 74-68 win for Syracuse. And I reluctantly went against my own beloved Orange with an 80-68 win for Duke. What did it end up being? 85-71. That's pretty damn close, if I do say so myself.
That's why you do that.
Hey, look. I mean, some of us have certain skills in certain areas, okay?
Certain skills.
Neither one of ours is doing this. But it's still fun. If I make predictions and I get close, well, damn it, I'm going to talk about it, okay?
So if the roles were reversed, we wouldn't be having this discussion.
Probably not.
I know. It wouldn't even have gotten brought up.
Probably not. All right. I love you guys. James, James, we got to do this again. Let's do this again before once the landscape is out there, once we can see what Syracuse is going to be doing, NIT, NCAA, let's take a look at a path. I want to have you on, if you would, and we'll discuss that. And from here on out, let's just, go Cuse. Keep doing your thing, James.
Before the tournament?
Yeah.
Before the ACC tournament?
No. Once we have a clear picture of what Syracuse is going to be doing, we have a bracket, we have something to look at, and we can see a path. Okay. That's
on Selection Sunday, because we might not know until Selection Sunday.
Seriously,
it's awfully true. It's awfully true. No. But if we do know, then we'll figure it out. Why aren't they pushing that stuff back? They're doing Selection Sunday and then they're pushing it back a week. Aren't they pushing it to the weekend?
Yeah.
Right.
Maybe we should do a Selection Sunday live show.
Maybe we should do our own. Well, I mean, I'd be down.
But who else do you think I'm talking about?
Joe, shut up.
The Marshall Street podcast.
Oh, that one. They had a great pizza.
The Marshall Street podcast is great pizza. Okay. All right. That's all we got. Okay. I appreciate James coming on, buddy, and enduring Joe with me. And thanks for sharing my pain. I really do appreciate it. I appreciate all of you for hanging out with us and James. And thanks for the buy-seller holds. You guys killed it this time. You really, really did. I'm really, really proud of you. Thank you to BetOnline. Thank you to eBay Sneakers. For Joe and James, I'm Sean. We're out.
Peace.
eBay Sneakers, baby.
eBay Sneakers. Go get yourself.
Gotta get those eBay Sneakers.
See what happens when we put out work instructions for the buy-seller holds?
It's a beautiful thing. Psych.
Boom.